This is the source of San Mateo Creek. The San Francisco Bay feeds directly into this location, where the creek runs under the busy J. Hart Clinton Drive and into town. This marks one of 4 sites for the City of San Mateo's South Bayfront Levee Improvements Project, which is designed to reduce flood risk of certain neighborhoods south of the creek. The project affects 8,000 local properties deemed to be at risk. Many of them are actually located here, in this area, San Mateo's Shoreview neighborhood. Residents of this area believe that they are paying entirely too much for insurance, and the city has set out to implement a solution.
The area there at the mouth of the San Mateo Creek are the 2 of the areas where improvements are planned. But if you look farther, what would be farther to the west, it's kind of the southwest, there are levees on either side of the creek, and there are actually flood walls on portions of those levees. Those were installed previously as some of the first improvements. The ones we're talking about now at the mouth of the creek then complete that process. The A99 zone is a designation that FEMA has established that would recognize, not just in San Mateo, but in other cities as well, when improvements are being implemented and are far enough along that as the map goes into place, there's an expectation that in a very short period of time, the improvements will be completed and the shape and size of the map will be reduced. They get lower cost insurance opportunities, and they also have the ability to make major improvements to their property.
We'll protect 8,000 homes, but of that 8,000, 6,000 homes will no longer require to purchase the mandatory insurance.
It's more a result of analysis than it is reality. So the way that FEMA establishes the map is that they establish a 100-year storm or a storm that has a 1% chance of happening in any given year.
We actually have a levee system along the Bayfront to protect the city. What we're doing right now is most of that levee system have adequate height. Just certain locations they just a little short of to meet the height requirement set by FEMA. What we're actually doing is close that gap. So that's why you see we have 3 different locations. So we're doing the flood wall to basically close that gap.
The Public Works Department has proposed a budget of $8.4 million. This consists of $6 million from newly issued bonds, $1 million from reimbursable expenses, and $1.4 million to be reallocated from a downtown parking project. According to Larry Patterson, the city shifted these parking funds because it did not want to take on additional debt to fund the flood project. In addition, the new parking deck wasn't deemed to be a feasible undertaking for another decade.
Without knowing it, all of a sudden our bill went up over $1,000. And we don't feel we're even in an at-risk area. So I'm offended by typical government stealing my money. I'm totally in support of it. Yeah, I mean, how can you not be when my insurance supposedly will go down? I believe they're doing it. I believe that they'll finish it. And I believe that my insurance will not go down.
But despite the skepticism of frustrated residents, the city of San Mateo is confident that their plan will be effective. Larry Patterson notes that FEMA is likely to grant the area a designation to cut insurance rates in very short order, well before the project is completed. This should come as welcome news to citizens. For the Peninsula Press and the Stanford Graduate Program in Journalism, I'm Joe Scioli.